Hey all, this is Tyler Crone, the Digital Outreach and Instruction Librarian at UPIKE. In this video, I'm going to take you through a brief tutorial on using the EBSCOhost database. EBSCOhost is one of the largest databases we have access to at UPIKE, and it's one of our go-to recommendations for anyone looking to find scholarly journal articles, academic research, scientific studies, newspaper or magazine articles, or ebooks. It has information on just about any subject imaginable, and as such, it's almost always one of the first resources we recommend to anyone working on a research project or paper.
To access the EBSCOhost database, we'll start on our UPIKE library page. Scroll down a bit, then click on Databases. From here, EBSCOhost is easy to find. Just look for it in the Popular Databases section on the right and click on it. I am on campus right now, so it lets me right into the database, but if you are off campus, it may pop up with a UPIKE login screen when you first click on EBSCOhost. In that case, log in using your normal UPIKE username and password, exactly like you'd use to log into Canvas or webmail.
Once you're in, the first page you land on allows you to already begin narrowing the subject of your search by selecting the disciplines you'd like to focus on. Let's say I'm writing a paper on marijuana legalization. What are a couple of these subjects that line up with that topic? I'm going to say no to engineering and computer science. Let's see, probably not language and literature, but history and political science looks good. Let's start with that one. To pick it, we're going to click on that, and then we're going to click to check the box next to the heading to add it to the list of subjects we're searching. Then we'll click on the gray button that says Top on the right-hand side of the page to send us back up to our list. We're going to repeat that process with a couple more subjects now. Let's do health and medicine. And let's add sociology, psychology, all of these ones to it as well. Once we've chosen the subjects that we want to focus on, click the gold Continue button at the top. Now we're on our initial search page. Before we even type in our keywords, there's one or two things we should take care of. First, under Limit Your Results, I'm going to check the full text box. This makes sure that all of the results we get are available for us to read. Otherwise, you might get results that ask you to pay a fee to read, and we want to get rid of all those. Next, we have the option of limiting our results to only scholarly, peer-reviewed journal articles. Depending on the assignment you're working on, your professor may ask you to only use scholarly sources. If that's the case, then you can check this box too. If your professor is okay with you using different kinds of sources, then you can leave this box unchecked. I'll leave it unchecked for our sample search. Now we can start typing in keywords to see what we find. For our search, I'm going to make it easy on myself and start with doing a search for the topic that we're searching: marijuana legalization. Wow, it looks like we've got almost 12,000 results here. That's way too much for me to deal with right now. So I'm going to take a sec and try to narrow that down a bit to make sure that the results I'm getting are as relevant to my project as possible. On the left side of the page, you'll see what we call limiters, basically different ways of focusing your search so that you don't have to sift through so much garbage trying to find a good source for your paper or project. Using these will save you time and make your research process much easier on you. Let's go through these real quick. You'll see we've got some of the same options from the first page if you want to adjust any of those. Under that, you've got a sliding publication date timeline. This allows you to adjust the dates that you want your results to fall between. For example, some professors might say they only want you to use resources that have been published in the last 10 years. In that case, we would click and drag this bar to 2010, if I'm doing my math right. After dragging it, it should automatically update. We'll see that's already narrowed our results down to 10,000. The next option allows us to focus on certain source types. Click the Show More button to pop up a larger list of source types in your results. Then click the checkbox next to each resource that you would like to keep in your list of results. For example, some professors might say they want you to specifically use a newspaper article as a source. Or they might also give you maybe like a short list of acceptable source types. This allows you to weed out some of the source types that aren't relevant for your search. For our sample search, let's say I'm interested in academic journals, and we'll keep newspaper articles too. I don't need to see anything from magazines or reviews or any of that. Click the gold update button when you're finished. You'll notice that this has also kind of narrowed down our results again. The last option on the left that I want to specifically point out is the subject section. Click that to open it up, and then again, click on the blue Show More option at the bottom to pop up a larger list. This works the same as the last source type limiter, allowing you to narrow your search down to results that only cover certain subjects. I see a whole bunch on here that I like, so I'm going to click on most of these at the top here. Marijuana legalization, cannabis, United States, marijuana laws. This is also a really good way to find some keywords for your search if you're having trouble coming up with ideas for that. Once again, hit that gold update button at the bottom to update the results you get. And if we scroll down a bit, we see that we've narrowed it down to just a bit over 1,000 results from our original 12,000, which is pretty awesome. That's gotten rid of so many results that we don't want, which means it's going to be so much easier for us to find good sources. I'm feeling pretty good with that number. As you can see, there are plenty more limiter options that you can explore and check out on the left here, but we won't get into those in this video. We hit the most important ones. The last thing we're going to do in this video is to click on one of our results and take a closer look. I like the look of this one on top here, so I'm going to click on that title to open it up. Sometimes it will immediately open into a PDF or HTML full text of the article. It looks like this one has opened into the PDF. And other times it will open into the article's detailed records page. The detailed record has important information about the article that you will need to cite it in your assignment. The PDF or HTML full text is the full text of the article that you can then read and see if it's useful for your assignment. Quick pro tip, look for an abstract in the detailed record or in the full text of the article. That's a good way to do a quick check to see if it's relevant to your assignment or if you can skip this and try a different source instead. This will save time on your research. On the right side of the page, you'll notice a vertical menu of tools. From here, you can print the document or email it to group members or yourself. You can also click on the Cite button for a list of computer-generated citations for this resource in either APA style or MLA or a whole bunch of other different styles. Be careful when using these citations. They usually have some mistakes in them, so if you just copy and paste them into your reference page for an assignment, you're almost guaranteed to lose points. I usually recommend that you use these as a rough draft and then check them closer to fix them before submitting your assignment. And finally, I want to point out the permalink button. Clicking this generates a permalink for the resource that you're on, which you can post or send to your classmates or professor to link them directly to this resource. If you need a link, always use this permalink option, because the way that EBSCO works, this normal link at the top will not work and will give you an error message. Alright, that about does it for this video. If you have any questions about the EBSCOhost database or would like help using or troubleshooting it, feel free to contact the library and we'll help you out as best as we can. Thanks for watching.